welcome to Soul Deep. This is a platform where we create safe spaces for us to share authentically without masking, but while also shedding light on social issues around us. My name is Sheila Cheptoyek. Please do join us as we walk this journey together. Hello, thank you for joining us. Today we're looking at mental health and more specifically bipolar disorder. We want to understand what is bipolar, what are some of the signs and symptoms accorded with bipolar. And joining us through this conversation today is a dear friend and a very special guest to me, Mrs. Angela Kamugasa Nsimbi. You're most welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. And maybe just to throw a bit of light who I am. I'm a mental health activist and a journalist as well. I love advocating for the rights of people with psychosocial disabilities because I've walked the journey. And I'm a mother, so I also enjoy my role as mommy and a wife to one. I always emphasize that one, and it's a man. Yeah, so those are some of the things I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today you're here to tell us more about bipolar. Right. What is bipolar?
I think I want to use simple language, layman's language, because I mean, when I had an episode, I went to the doctor, and what the doctor did, he actually got me a piece of paper, drew for me, a hill, and then a valley, and then he told me bipolar, because when I asked him what exactly he's treating, he told me it's bipolar affective disorder.
Okay.
So it is a combination of having manic episodes and depressive episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, and by manic, it means that when you are excited, it's above the average.
Yeah.
And when you are also depressed, it's longer than the normal.
Could there be any symptoms that one could easily recognize? The signs and symptoms,
One of the signs is insomnia. Yeah, because when I recall, I also had a big problem with sleeping. I wouldn't sleep. Sometimes I would stay awake until 6 a.m. So then other things, you are irritable. You lose interest in things you've always loved doing, because I really used to love going out with friends. But my friends, mainly family. I'm actually somebody who is closed in to that point. And then I loved writing. I still write, but I went through a period when I didn't want even to write. So loss of interest in what you have always been interested in doing, that's a sign. Insomnia, irritability, being agitated. Yeah, those are some of the symptoms of bipolar.
Okay. You have walked the journey of bipolar.
Yes. Maybe what I can say is that when I got a diagnosis, because what I can say is I had a breakdown 2008, but it was towards the end of the year. And then 2009, early, the beginning of the year, that's when I went to get medical attention. And so I can't really put a time frame to it. All I can say is that I went through psychotherapy, and also had to take medication so that I'm able to be stable and be able to work and be productive. Yeah, so the period for which I was on medication was 5 years. So 2014, I stopped taking medication. So I took medication for 5 years. After that, I just learned to look out for the triggers and learn to take care of myself better.
So during this period that you were walking this journey, did it affect any family member of yours that was with you in your vicinity, or alter your life?
Of course it did. But maybe I should start with my family. The children asked me a lot of questions when I fell ill. They didn't understand what was going on. They're saying, "What is wrong with our mommy?" And so because they were asking questions, I actually sat them down and talked to my children and told them, this is what happens when mommy is not feeling well. so that it's not stigma for us to talk about mental health or mental health challenges, because I knew if I just kept quiet about it, they would always have questions, and they would wonder why mommy never talked. So that's the reason why I kept talking. And so when they would ask any question, I would answer. But of course, it made them a bit insecure, because we went through seasons when I wasn't looking after them. Like maybe they would spend a week or 2 weeks away from me, away from home. And but the good thing, they were in safe care. They were being looked after by a sister of mine who passed away about 2 years ago, and another one who is still alive. So they were in homes where they were loved. But of course they would still miss mommy. Yeah, so that's the reason why I had to talk about it. And then of course for my husband, what I noticed is that because for him he's a scientist. A scientist wants to know what is happening.
The details.
Yes, is it a chemical thing, imbalance, what he wants to know. So for my husband, he read a lot. He really read a lot. Every time he came up with something, he would come, he has printed an article and he would show me. Now you see, so and so also has bipolar. He told me about I forget the name of that lady, but anyway, when I remember, I'll tell you. But like different celebrities abroad also who are experiencing that. And then he would tell me, you see, also this one, she's going through it, but this is what she's also doing. So then for me also, I also began to read more about it. And most importantly, I realized that I would love to share my story so that more and more people are impacted for good. Because I realized during that time, when you're walking the journey, I wished I had someone I could talk to who would understand, someone who has gone through that journey who would understand. And I realized that not many people were willing to talk, but I managed to get a few people. And that time, it was years back, it was an organization at that time called Heart Sounds, Uganda. I was privileged to work as a volunteer in different capacities in that organization. I also eventually as a national coordinator. So it helped me. I met people at different levels of recovery. Yes. And I didn't care whether someone is a drug addict. I didn't care if they were abusing alcohol. What brought us together was we all had something similar, and we would talk. We were like a family. So we'd talk, what works for you? What are the side effects? Just that. It made a difference. And that's why I decided I need to keep talking, because actually the biggest therapy that really, really helps you on the journey to recovery is psychotherapy.
Okay. So would you say that most of the healing process happens as you share your story, as you connect with people in the same situation?
Yeah, it does, because I'll say even right now what I do, one of the other things that I do a monthly meeting, which I dubbed Heart to Heart Chat.
Okay.
I do it under My Story Initiative, and a non-profit organization which I co-founded with 2 other friends. So this meeting, we meet with different people. We meet with peers, people who are suffering mental health challenges. We meet with carers. We meet with some medical experts, right? So when we meet and we talk, it's actually also therapy for me. Okay. I feel better because when you listen to other people, listen to their challenges, you realize that there's a lot to offer the world. You realize you don't have time to throw a pity party. By the way, you don't have, because if you do that, you'll never help anybody. Okay. So you just keep reaching out. That makes you feel better as well. Yeah.
So would there be any places that offer this kind of treatment or support? Somebody out there might be saying, but where could I get this kind of support?
For me, like some of the places I would recommend, at Relate Counseling. First of all, there's a relationship counselor there.
Okay.
And she was actually my therapist. So
during that time?
Yes, and even if any other time when I feel I need a therapist, she's someone I always go to. Wow. Yeah. So, and that's where I also hold the monthly meetings of the Heart to Heart Chat. So that is one place someone can go. And even attending these meetings is another option, because it's really therapy. We engage for at least 2 hours. because we realize that if we make it too long, people, their attention span won't handle it.
Yeah.
And then another place that I know of, another organization that offers therapy is Strong Minds. But I would also recommend more people to, people are terrified of Butabika,
Yeah.
but Butabika offers psychotherapy as well. There are clinical psychologists there, and it is free of charge. Yeah. So people should utilize those services, by the way. They don't know. People don't know. People know Butabika only as a place where you'll be locked up when you are ill and you just only get the meds. But actually, they offer psychotherapy. You just walk in there and ask for it. Yeah.
There's no charge to it whatsoever.
It's free. It's free because it's a government hospital. It's a national referral hospital.
And is there something you'd like to say to somebody that is going through something like this?
I think one of the major things is that when you're going through a storm, the truth is it's not a good place to be. That is the reality. I don't want to pretend that when I was going through it, I was excited. No, it was actually a very painful time. It's a time when you ask so many questions and you wonder, has God forgotten me? Because even your friends, it's like you are no longer on their list, dialing list. You are not there on the phone. You are forgotten about. But what I want to encourage anybody who is walking this journey is that make it a habit to document your day. Yeah, because I actually have journals. So document your emotions, everything, just document it. It's a way to help you get better. It's a way to forget the past, because there's actually a verse, and I thought of it even this morning. That verse is Isaiah 43 verse 18, and it says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. And that is part of the healing that you need. Because the truth is, most mental health challenges, it's because of pain. It's because of trauma. It's because of challenges we go through and we are afraid to share. We go through them and we are afraid to tell anybody about it. But now it's about time that we all identify safe spaces where we can share our pain, where we can pour out our hearts, where someone can listen. Yeah, it's very important, because if we don't do that, it becomes toxic. You can just die. You can die. And when I say die, I'm not saying that you are dying as in physical death, but actually it will kill your potential. You'll stop being productive. You'll stop being creative. You'll stop being innovative. And another thing one needs to do is also to engage in an exercise. Yeah, because for me, one thing that is standard that I do, I walk. My work involves walking. So even though there are times I'll use a car and drive, even though I've used a taxi, there are distances I actually intentionally walk. Yeah, because when we exercise, it gives you that feel-good hormone. They call them endorphins, and you are happy. And it makes you happier. But another thing, most importantly, because we are spiritual beings, that's another thing I never want to forget, is that let's utilize our churches. Some people have been wounded in church, but let's not run away from church, because psychotherapy is also expensive. If you are not able to get it in Butabika, you have gone to any other person, a private practitioner, you're going to pay. So some people even charge more than 50,000 an hour for a session, right? So walking into church, I don't have to pay a penny, but that pastor will listen to me. They will counsel me. There are different people, maybe it's an elder or what, they will counsel me, and it will be free of charge. So we should learn to utilize such people. Yeah, and then maybe another thing, our prayer lives, because I'll not lie, fellowship helped me a lot. Praying helped me a lot, but most importantly, speaking the biblical scriptures. I had to speak out loud to myself to reaffirm myself. One of the things, this is standard, I think everybody who has heard about my story knows that's something I keep saying. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah, because when you are low, you even hear voices that tell you you are no good. You hear voices telling you you are not cute, you're not
Yeah.
pretty, you will never amount to anything.
Yeah.
And actually, some people will also dare to tell you to your face. So you need to reaffirm yourself. Yes, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made.
Okay.
I'm the head and not the tail.
Yes. Thank you so very much for sharing your story with us.
Yeah.
Hope somebody out there is encouraged by this story, and I know there are so many people that can relate. There are many people going through this and they're keeping quiet about it. They're afraid to share. They sometimes feel like they're alone and they feel like they're strangers around people. But thank you for being vulnerable enough to
It's
share
a pleasure.
and letting us know that this is something we can talk about. This is
Yeah.
something we can fight, and we can fight together
Yeah.
and be stronger.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine.